Imagine having an expert co-pilot, something for your most complex tasks, something that could sift through just mountains of data, spot those intricate patterns, maybe even take action, all while you stay firmly in the driver's seat. What if that co-pilot was AI? Artificial intelligence, specifically designed for something as, well, dynamic as crypto trading. Welcome to the deep dive. Today you've challenged us to unpack this fascinating world of OpenAI's ChatGPT Agent and its, frankly, groundbreaking application in crypto trading. We've got a really detailed stack of sources here outlining exactly what this agent is, how it works, and maybe most importantly, what it really means for the future of automated finance.
Yeah, and this isn't just about, faster trading. It's not merely speed. If you look at the bigger picture, it's really about a fundamental shift, maybe even revolutionary, in how human intelligence interacts with AI, how we can gain an edge, really, in these complex, volatile markets. It's about leveraging automation, all that power, while keeping that crucial oversight. Make sure you're always in command. The goal isn't replacement, it's augmentation, exponential augmentation, really.
That's a really crucial distinction you're making there. Maintaining oversight. It really highlights who this deep dive is for, right? Whether you're maybe a seasoned trader looking to optimize, or maybe just a curious observer trying to keep up with AI, or maybe someone just trying to understand the tech landscape shaping finance. This deep dive, it's going to give you a shortcut, a way to get truly well informed about something that's, well, it's cutting edge and it's already here. You'll get past the headlines, grasp the nuanced implications. So let's dive right in. Over the next, say, half hour or so, we're going to really explore what ChatGPT Agent actually is. Look at its core capabilities, how it's different from previous AI models, especially that shift from advice to action. Then we'll dig into the why traders are actually flocking to it, everything from real-time data to sentiment intelligence. Then we'll get practical, hands-on. How do you use it? Followed by some exciting, tangible use cases already changing crypto workflows. And finally, crucially, we'll weigh the benefits against the risks. Look at OpenAI's safety net before, looking ahead. What's next for AI in finance? It's going to be, I think, a really insightful journey, aiming to arm you with actionable knowledge. Okay, let's jump right in then. Our sources, they flag July 17th, 2025, the launch of OpenAI's ChatGPT Agent. This feels like a pretty major milestone in AI automation. Can you unpack its core identity? What exactly is this thing?
Right, so this isn't just like an incremental update. It's really designed as OpenAI's latest virtual AI worker. And what truly sets it apart, the key thing, is its ability to browse the web, analyze data really deeply, write and interpret code, and then critically execute tasks end to end. That's crucial because it goes way beyond just generating text or giving answers, right? It integrates ChatGPT's real-time web browsing, what they used to call Operator, with its deep analytical tools and that conversational intelligence. It's all rolled into one single comprehensive assistant. That unified approach, that's what makes it different.
Okay, so it's not just insights, it's about the AI actually taking action. That feels like a huge leap. How does that fundamentally reshape the human-AI partnership, say in a high-stakes scenario like a market crash? What are the anxieties, the challenges that come with delegating actual action to a machine, even, with oversight?
Yeah, you've absolutely hit the core distinction there. Unlike the earlier models that, mostly gave advice or wrote stuff, this agent, it can act on instructions. It can execute these multi-step workflows pretty much autonomously. And that shift from advice to action, it completely reshapes the partnership. Because the AI becomes less of a data provider and more like a coworker. The anxiety, yeah, you're right, it stems from that feeling of losing control. But the system, it's engineered with a real emphasis on collaborative autonomy. Think about his toolkit, for instance. It's got visual and text browsers for digging through online info, a terminal for direct commands, a code interpreter for running and understanding code logic, plus integrations with third-party apps. But the key thing isn't just having these tools, it's that they're natively integrated within the one AI. So instead of you manually opening a browser for news, then a terminal for blockchain data, then trying to run a Python script somewhere else for backtesting, the agent has all that natively integrated. You can literally just tell it, like,
browse the latest DeFi news, check the liquidity on this DX pool, and run a simulated trade strategy on that data using a custom Python script. And it just handles all those different multimodal tasks seamlessly in one interface. And the code interpreter, it's not just running code you give it. It can write and debug its own analysis scripts based on your plain English requests. That massively lowers the technical barrier for doing sophisticated analysis, even if you're not a coder. So the human still sets the goals right, but the execution, it becomes vastly more efficient.
Wow, that paints a really powerful picture, an integrated digital workspace. So, okay, How does this general AI worker specifically cater to the unique demands of, say, crypto traders? What makes it such a good co-pilot for this specific, really fast-paced market?
Yeah, for crypto traders, it really excels because it blends capabilities that used to be split up, like operator for browsing and deep research for analysis. That unification is what makes it so potent. It lets the agent run these complex multi-step workflows smoothly across different crypto platforms, from real-time price monitoring on DEXs to maybe even deploying bots on centralized exchanges. And this translates directly into things like sophisticated automated research, dynamic charting, nuanced sentiment analysis from social media, quick spreadsheet creation, all done by the AI. It basically gets rid of all that laborious manual scraping of price data, the tedious chart cross-referencing, the time-spent prepping reports. Imagine like waking up to a fully prepped market brief. Charts, headlines, whale movement analysis, all compiled by the AI. This capability lets traders find those critical crypto signals, analyze trends as they emerge, and act on insights with just unprecedented speed and accuracy. That gives them a massive competitive advantage in a market where, milliseconds can make all the difference.
Okay, given how powerful that sounds, what's the availability like right now? And how's OpenAI actually rolling it out? Is it something everyone can jump on, or is it more phased? And are there maybe broader implications with this rollout strategy?
Right, so as of July 2025, the ChatGPT agent is available for OpenAI's Pro, Plus, and Team subscribers. This initial rollout, it targets users who are already pretty engaged with the platform, folks who likely need that advanced high-volume AI help. Enterprise and education plans, they're expected to get access soon. Which makes sense, given its potential for big organizations, academic research, places dealing with huge datasets and complex workflows. Now, for the free tier users and those in the EU or Swiss regions, access depends on regulatory reviews finishing up. This staged rollout, it's not just about server load, it's strategic. It shows OpenAI understands the regulatory maze they're in. Deploying such a powerful autonomous tool, especially in sensitive areas like crypto finance, means carefully navigating data privacy laws, financial compliance, consumer protection. All that. These reviews ensure the agent operates legally, especially around automated trading and financial advice, which are, heavily scrutinized. So the pace of the rollout is a mix of technical readiness and a deep consideration for responsible AI deployment.
That makes total sense, especially with finance involved. And speaking of navigating things, our sources mention the power of natural language commands. It sounds like you don't need to be some kind of coding genius or data scientist to use this agent effectively. That really lowers the barrier to entry, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of its most transformative aspects, truly. Users can give the agent incredibly complex jobs using just simple natural language commands. Plain English, for instance, you could tell it. Monitor token liquidity on the top 3 DEXs for Solana tokens, and alert me if a major pool drops by more than 10% in an hour. Simple. Or generate AI crypto trading strategies based on historical Bitcoin price data. Look for patterns when volatility goes over 3% daily, and backtest them over the last 6 months. Or even build me a comprehensive portfolio dashboard. Track my P&L, give me real-time news sentiment for my holdings, visualize asset correlation. The AI understands these detailed multi-step instructions and turns them into actual executable steps. And this is where the art of prompt engineering comes in. While the language is natural, defining the workflow precisely is absolutely crucial. You need to be clear to get accurate, relevant results. A vague prompt, you'll get vague results. But a well-structured prompt, it's almost like writing a mini algorithm in English. It unlocks immense power. And here's where that safety aspect, that recurring theme, is paramount.
It always includes a built-in safety feature. It pauses. It asks for your explicit approval before doing anything sensitive or irreversible, like initiating a trade or making a big change to a bot. This ensures you, the user, remain in control. Even with its highly autonomous capabilities, you're always the final decision maker.
Okay, that's a fantastic overview of what ChatGPT Agent is and how you interact with it. Now let's shift to the why. For any seasoned trader listening, the immediate con might be, okay, sounds powerful, but why this AI now? What are the real drivers behind its adoption in such a, competitive space? Let's dig into those motivations.
Yeah, good question. One of the biggest drivers is definitely the real-time data access, and crucially, how it synthesizes that data. Think about a sudden market event, a flash crash, a big regulatory announcement, a whale moving billions, right? In the past, you'd be furiously clicking refresh on multiple tabs, logging into different analytics platforms, trying to manually piece it all together, often missing that crucial window while you're just stitching information. Now, with just one natural language command, the agent can simultaneously pull live order book data from, say, 10 exchanges, scan X for real-time sentiment shifts, analyze on-chain liquidity pools, and overlay technical indicators, all within seconds. This isn't just faster access. It's about synthesizing this holistic market picture with incredible speed and accuracy, letting you spot actionable insights like maybe a sudden shift in whale sentiment that correlates with an emerging liquidity crunch before everyone else catches on. The efficiency gain is not just incremental, it's exponential. It compresses hours of manual work into moments.
That's more than just speed. It's a profound shift in decision-making power. Okay, beyond raw data, what about the more qualitative stuff? The nuanced market understanding, like sentiment intelligence, deep research. How does it handle that?
It's actually incredibly sophisticated there. The agent taps into this huge array of diverse media sources. It sifts through real-time chatter on social media, X, Reddit, and even analyzes blockchain explorers. And from all that, it generates these incredibly insight-rich overviews that really capture the market's pulse. For example, it can give you granular stuff like whale tracking, identifying those big, significant asset movements by major holders that often signal price shifts. Or it can generate token inflow alerts, pointing out large deposits onto exchanges, which might mean a sell-off is coming. Or just macro sentiment summaries, giving you a quick feel for the overall market mood, drawn from countless articles and posts. What's really fascinating, I think, is how it synthesizes the qualitative social sentiment with the hard quantitative blockchain data. It cross-references them to spot these early trends, these anomalies that a human just couldn't possibly track across so many sources at once. This lets traders get actionable alerts like, unusual volume detected for XYZ token correlated with a surge in negative sentiment on Reddit and a large wallet transfer to Binance. That gives you an unparalleled early warning system.
Wow, that sounds incredibly useful for making sense of what's often a chaotic, emotionally driven market. And our sources, they really emphasize the transparency aspect, which is a huge relief, right? When you're delegating complex, financially risky tasks to an AI. How does that transparency actually work in practice?
Yeah, exactly. Transparency is key. All the tasks it performs are done with full transparency. Users can literally watch the agent's actions in real time as it processes requests. Imagine seeing a live log, accessing CoinMarketCap for historical data, running Python script for SMA calculation, querying Etherscan for whale address activity. It's not some black box where you just hope for the best. This real-time visibility lets you jump in, pause the task, redirect the agent if something looks off, or if you spot a potential misinterpretation. Like if you see it using a data source you don't trust, you can tell it right then, stop, use this source instead. And when it's finished, the outputs are immediately ready to use. We're talking downloadable CSVs for spreadsheets, presentation-ready slide decks, interactive dashboards. This lets traders shift their focus dramatically, away from the tedious data grunt work towards higher-level strategy, backtesting complex ideas, refining their market view.
Okay, now let's touch on the really sensitive part, actual trade execution. This is probably where most people get a bit nervous, given the risks in crypto. How does it handle placing trades? What are the guardrails?
Right, and this is where OpenAI has been really careful implementing crucial guardrails because they understand the high stakes. So yes, with your user-approved API keys from platforms like Binance or Coinbase, the agent can place trades or rebalance your portfolio. However, and this is a critical point, can't stress it enough, this function always comes with multiple layers of safety checks. Before any irreversible action is taken, like hitting buy or rebalancing your whole portfolio, the agent will explicitly show you the proposed transaction. It details the asset, quantity, price, potential fees, everything. And then it requires your manual, explicit approval, your final go or no-go. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a mandatory pause for your decision. This careful balance, between powerful automation and strict risk mitigation, it's central to OpenAI's whole approach. It's designed specifically to prevent those runaway AI scenarios, ensuring that even with all its sophistication, the ultimate responsibility, the control, stays with the human trader. Which does raise an interesting question, right? As the AI gets even smarter in its recommendations, how does our oversight evolve?
Do we trust it more, or does the complexity demand even more vigilance from us?
That balance is absolutely key, especially in a market that volatile. And stepping back a bit, is this just a niche tool for crypto folks? Or is it part of a bigger trend we're seeing in the wider enterprise world? Does that give us a glimpse of the future?
Oh, it's definitely part of a much larger, really transformative wave. Our sources share this pretty intriguing statistic. Something like 85% of enterprises are expected to deploy AI agents by the end of 2025. And this isn't just finance. It's across customer service, logistics, research, data analysis, you name it, countless industries. This rapid deployment is largely driven by how efficient these agents are at streamlining complex decision workflows, automating repetitive stuff, and pulling insights from huge data sets that would just swamp human teams. So while we're focusing on its specific, powerful use in crypto, it's important to understand this isn't just some niche tool for a few tech-savvy traders. It's a real manifestation of a broader tech shift in how businesses, and individuals too, are using AI for productivity, efficiency, and frankly, competitive advantage. Crypto trading is just an early, high-impact proving ground for this wider revolution.
That broader context is really helpful. Good to know this isn't just a flash in the pan. Now, let's get practical. For someone listening who might be thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually make ChatGPT Agent my crypto trading co-pilot? Walk us through the hands-on process from starting it up to getting the output.
Okay, yeah, let's walk through it step by step. The first part is actually quite simple. You just start by opening any normal ChatGPT conversation. From there, you'll either click the Tools menu and then the Agent mode drop-down in the interface, or even easier, you can just type Agent right into the chat box and hit Enter. What this does, it immediately activates this dedicated workspace, specifically tailored for these complex operations. And it's not just another chat window. It launches what you can kind of think of as a virtual desktop. It's a really immersive environment. This desktop, it comes equipped with its own integrated browser tabs for web access, terminal access for command line stuff, spreadsheet tools for data work, and these robust MPI connectors for linking securely to external platforms like your crypto exchanges or on-chain data providers. All these pieces are designed specifically for running those multi-step crypto workflows we've been talking about without you having to jump between a dozen different apps. It's basically your personalized virtual trading desk ready to go, all inside ChatGPT.
Okay, so you've got this virtual trading desk set up. How do you tell it what you want it to do? I imagine clarity in your instructions, the prompts, is absolutely critical, right? But how do you craft them effectively for these complex financial tasks?
Yeah, you're spot on. Clarity is absolutely king here. The system really thrives on precise, well-structured prompts because those prompts, they define the entire workflow the agent's going to execute. Think of it like giving super clear instructions to a highly intelligent but very literal assistant. You need to be specific about the goal, the data sources to use, the output format you want. For example, a simple prompt might be, fetch BTC hourly chart data for the last 72 hours. Then, calculate the 20-period and 50-period simple moving averages, and then flag any crossover signals where the 20 crosses above the 50 as buy and below as sell. Or if you're more into market sentiment, summarize on-chain whale activity for the top 5 market cap coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano over the last 24 hours, and specify. Identify any transfers over $10 million from exchange wallets to cold storage, and categorize the overall sentiment as accumulation or distribution. These examples, they really show the power of natural language, right? You're essentially just talking to the AI in plain English, and you get the complex financial actions you want.
This really highlights that art of prompt engineering. Defining the workflow precisely, it's crucial for getting automation to work effectively and getting the accurate, actionable results you need. A really well-crafted prompt can save you hours of manual digging.
That's incredibly powerful, giving it such specific instructions in just plain language. So, okay, you've given it the prompt. How does the agent actually execute it? And what kind of oversight do you, the user, have during that, often intricate multi-step process?
Right. So once you trigger the agent with your prompt, it doesn't just sit there. It springs into action. It doesn't just spit out a static answer either. It starts this dynamic process. It uses live feeds, APIs to collect all the necessary price and blockchain data. That might mean querying multiple DXs for liquidity or scanning historical order books. At the same time, it can run custom code for that deep analysis, calculating technical indicators like moving averages, running statistical arbitrage calcs, parsing huge amounts of text for sentiment. What's crucial here, and this goes back to that theme of human oversight, is that it shows you intermediate outputs and its progress in real time. You're not just waiting for a final answer to appear. You're watching the AI build it piece by piece. Like it might show you the raw data it's fetching, then the calculated moving averages it just ran, then the sentiment scores it derived. You see its process. You keep full control the whole time. You can pause the task any second if you see something weird. You can adjust its parameters if you realize, oh, I need a different time frame.
Or you can even completely redirect the agent if you see it's misinterpreting you or going down a dead end. This real-time feedback and the ability to intervene, it's fundamental for building trust and making sure the AI's output actually matches your strategic intent. This collaborative part is absolutely key. It ensures you're always steering the ship, not just a passive passenger along for the ride.
That real-time feedback and control, yeah, that sounds like a total game changer for trust and just making it effective. And once it's done its thing, what does the final output actually look like? What are you left with that's actionable, ready for your next market move?
Okay, so upon completion, the agent gives you these highly actionable outputs. They're designed to be immediately useful. Typically, these include things like downloadable CSVs or Excel sheets, perfectly formatted for more spreadsheet analysis, so you can easily pull the data into your own models or charting tools. You'll also get ready-to-visualize charts. That streamlines your reporting or helps you make quicker trading decisions, cuts out the need for separate charting software. And of course, summarized insights. These distill complex information into easy-to-understand reports, highlighting the key findings, potential opportunities, or risks. And these insights aren't just raw numbers. They often come with interpretive summaries too. Now, just to reiterate that point we touched on, if you've chosen to securely connect your Binance or Coinbase API keys, the agent can even proceed to place or rebalance trades for you. But, and I know I keep saying this, but it's important this only happens after your explicit manual confirmation. You have to click yes. OpenAI has been really consistent in their messaging on this. While full automation is technically possible,
They strongly emphasize user oversight, especially with financial applications where the stakes are just so high. It reinforces their safety-first approach. It puts you, the user, in the ultimate decision-making seat, turning the agent from some autonomous robot into a highly capable but obedient co-pilot.
That breakdown of how to use it is incredibly clear. Thanks for that. Now let's shift gears a bit and explore some specific practical use cases. Beyond just the general capabilities, how exactly can ChatGPT Agent be applied, in the trenches of crypto trading to give you a real tangible edge? Let's start with its role as like a tireless analyst.
Absolutely. Yeah, the agent truly shines as an automated technical analyst. It frees up just immense amounts of human time and, frankly, mental energy. It can continuously scan multiple charts across various assets, different timeframes, and compute live technical indicators, SMAs, RSI, MACD, whatever you need on the fly, instantly updating them as new price data streams in. For instance, our sources give this really compelling scenario. You can set it up to monitor Bitcoin and Ethereum on multiple exchanges, maybe hourly, specifically looking for and flagging SMA crossovers. Once it spots those crossovers, it can then signal potential buy or sell opportunities directly to you, maybe through an alert, maybe even suggesting an entry and exit price range based on historical volatility. And all of this happens on autopilot once you've done the initial setup. That lets a trader focus on the high-level strategy, not just staring at charts waiting for a line to cross. They can run hundreds of these analyses at the same time, a feat impossible for one person. This capability doesn't just save time, it ensures you don't miss those fleeting technical signals across a potentially broad portfolio.
That's a huge time saver, yeah, especially in markets that literally never sleep. But trading isn't just charts and numbers, right? It's also heavily influenced by news, social sentiment, which can be incredibly chaotic to track. How does the agent help with that more qualitative side of market analysis? And how does it deliver truly actionable insights from all that noise?
It's actually incredibly adept at that. It provides an unparalleled edge in just sensing market shifts. So beyond the technicals, the agent tracks news feeds from thousands of sources, monitors social media like X, Reddit, Telegram, and analyzes broader sentiment data to surface these early signals that human traders might easily miss in the flood of information. It can generate real-time, actionable alerts by cross-referencing all these diverse data points. For example, it could alert you to major whale movements, those big institutional or individual transactions that often happen before big price shifts. It can notify you of new token listings on exchanges, often major price catalysts, or critical regulatory updates that could hit market stability. The real power here is its ability not just to collect the data, but to synthesize it and deliver these insights before the broader market fully reacts. Imagine getting an alert that says, significant Bitcoin inflow detected on Coinbase, coinciding with a sudden negative sentiment spike on X regarding a potential regulatory crackdown in Europe. That granular cross-platform correlation, that's where it gets really interesting for staying ahead of the curve. It lets you react maybe hours, sometimes even days, before these things are fully priced into the market.
So it's like having this dedicated, tireless research team constantly scouring the internet for you, but one that can also connect the dots between totally different things. What about using it for longer-term portfolio management? Can it help with monitoring and rebalancing? Strategies that usually need a lot of consistent discipline.
Yes, definitely. And with a level of consistency that's frankly hard for humans to maintain emotionally. For long-term management, the agent can continuously monitor your P&L, your profit and loss over time across all your different crypto holdings. It tracks individual asset performance, overall portfolio value. More impressively, it can suggest rebalancing strategies based on rules that you set beforehand. For instance, you could tell it, suggest reallocating funds when certain asset thresholds are breached. Like, maybe if one coin's performance gets too far from your target allocation, Say Bitcoin grows to 70% of your portfolio, but your target was 50%. It can suggest selling some BTC and buying more of your lagging altcoins to get back in balance. It then compiles these comprehensive reports and customizable charts that help you visualize the trends, assess your portfolio's performance against benchmarks, and understand how different market events impacted your holdings, allowing for these data-driven, disciplined adjustments without that emotional bias creeping in.
That's an excellent way to maintain discipline, yeah, and optimize how your portfolio is built. What about automating around specific, really time-sensitive market events? Things like token unlocks or protocol upgrades. Those often trigger big price moves.
This is where its ability to handle complex, time-sensitive strategies really comes into play. Users can set up automated workflows around these scheduled events, like token unlocks, which can flood the market with supply, often leading to selling pressure, or protocol upgrades, which might boost a coin's utility and attract new buyers. It can even track major influencer activity, because we know certain figures can move markets with just a tweet. The agent can track the metrics before and after the event, analyzing the immediate price impact and any lingering effects. For example, you could task it. Monitor ETH price 24 hours before and after the merge upgrade, compare it to a control group of similar large caps, and report on the volatility and trend shifts you observe. Plus, it can generate specific trade signals tied directly to those triggers, like initiate a short position on token X if its price drops more than 5% within 30 minutes of its token unlock event. This really showcases its ability to integrate real-world events into its analysis and automate responses, enabling these event-driven trading strategies that were much harder to execute precisely before.
That's incredibly granular and strategic, makes complex event arbitrage seem much more accessible now. And finally, one of the most intriguing use cases mentioned in our sources is instant arbitrage opportunity detection. High-value stuff, how does it handle that, given the speed and complexity?
Yeah, this is a perfect example of where AI's speed and its parallel processing power just completely blow human capabilities out of the water. It totally changes the game for this strategy. ChatGPT Agent can instantly identify arbitrage opportunities by simultaneously analyzing hundreds, maybe thousands of trading pairs across a dozen different exchanges, both centralized and decentralized. It's not just looking at BTC ETH on Binance and then XRP BTC on Crack and sequentially. No, it's tracking every possible permutation like BTC USDT on exchange A, then USDTEF on exchange B, then ETH BTCC back on exchange A, spotting these tiny fleeting price differences that could yield a profit. These opportunities often disappear in milliseconds, right? A human, even with fancy software, is limited by manual input, reaction time, the sheer cognitive load of watching that huge dynamic landscape. The agent, though, it can detect a tiny 0.2% price difference across 3 different assets on 3 different platforms, calculate the potential profit, including all the fees, and even initiate the sequence of trades needed to capture it, all within the blink of an eye, assuming you've pre-approved those settings. This isn't just about speed.
It's about a level of parallel processing and opportunity capture that fundamentally shifts who can even compete in these high-frequency, high-value niches. It basically turns what was once an elite, machine-driven game, often needing expensive proprietary tech, into something accessible for individual traders who can leverage this AI copilot.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground on what ChatGPT Agent is, how to use it, its applications. Now let's zoom out and take a clear look at the big picture. What are the main benefits that really stand out? And just as importantly, what are the crucial risks that come with using such a powerful tool in the, let's face it, wild world of crypto?
Okay, yeah. If we boil down the key benefits, the first one is just undeniable. Time savings and efficiency. The agent automates all that tedious, repetitive stuff, data fetching, charting, report generation, which means a trader isn't spending hours manually compiling info. Instead, they could dedicate that time to refining strategies, doing deeper qualitative dives, or just managing more opportunities. Leads to much faster, better informed decisions. Second, it really excels at data integration and holistic insight. It seamlessly merges all these different data sources, on-chain metrics, real-time news, social sentiment, technical signals into one cohesive analysis. That gives you much deeper, more nuanced insights than a human could ever achieve manually. A truly comprehensive market view. And third, it facilitates repeatable workflows and systematic analysis. You can use those well-structured prompts to consistently backtest strategies against historical data, and then apply the exact same workflows for ongoing market analysis, ensuring a disciplined, unbiased, systematic approach to trading, which is absolutely vital in volatile markets.
So efficiency, comprehensive insights, and consistency. Got it. For you, the listener, this ties right back to that need for quick, thorough knowledge and just being more efficient in a complex market. But like with any powerful tech, there's always the other side of the coin. What are the essential risks linked to using ChatGPT Agent for crypto trading? How do we approach them?
That's a crucial consideration, yeah. It's vital not to just ignore the potential downsides. Despite how sophisticated it is, there are inherent risks. The first is the possibility of incorrect outputs or even hallucinations. AI models, even the advanced ones, they can still misinterpret indicators sometimes. They might generate analyses that look statistically plausible but are fundamentally flawed, or even just hallucinate data that isn't real. So you must always verify the results it gives you, always double check. Which raises that important question, right? How do you build and maintain trust with an AI that can still make mistakes or misinterpret things, especially when real money is on the line? It demands constant, vigilant skepticism. Second, there are risks around API and scraping errors, exchange rate limits, sudden changes in how data feeds are formatted, temporary connection problems. These can all skew the agent's analysis. That could lead to incomplete or just plain wrong data, which could result in bad decisions. You need backup plans for data integrity. And thirdly, security risks are huge. Automated tools, if you're not careful, might inadvertently expose sensitive API keys or trading data. Or they could be vulnerable to sophisticated prompt injection attacks, where malicious inputs could trick the agent into doing things you didn't intend. Imagine someone subtly altering your agent's trading rules without you realizing it immediately. These are really serious concerns.
Those are significant points, yeah. Especially the idea of hallucinations in finance. Oof. It really underscores why critical thinking is so important, why you can't just blindly trust the AI even as it gets better and better. So, what safeguards has OpenAI specifically put in place to tackle these risks, to prioritize user control, particularly in the sensitive crypto world?
Right. OpenAI has implemented this comprehensive set of measures. They're designed to prioritize user control and safety, making it really clear this is a co-pilot, not an autonomous driver flying solo. A core principle is manual approval. We talked about this. The agent always pauses for your explicit OK before taking any irreversible action, especially placing trades, rebalancing portfolios, making significant changes to your automated strategies. You see the proposed action clearly laid out, and you have to confirm it. Click Yes. Secondly, it emphasizes active supervision. The agent stays inactive if you're not actively supervising it. This ensures no trades get placed or data requests happen without your direct intent and oversight. It won't just run wild in the background if you step away for coffee. Furthermore, execution is permission-based by design. Terminal access is restricted to stop unauthorized system stuff. Its memory is disabled between sessions to prevent unintended context carrying over or sensitive info leaking. And prompts are rigorously filtered to block malicious inputs or attempts at prompt injection. These measures, they align deeply with OpenAI's broader commitment to responsible AI deployment, especially in high-stakes areas like finance. Ultimately, their core philosophy seems clear. The agent isn't meant to replace human judgment, period. Traders are explicitly expected to stay in the loop, constantly review the AI's outputs, validated signals, and only turn on automation where the workflows are thoroughly understood, rigorously tested, and deemed safe under specific conditions.
That's a really important distinction you're making there. It sounds less like, a fully autonomous car, more like a really high-performance car with incredibly advanced safety features. It's powerful, sure, but it still absolutely needs a skilled, attentive driver behind the wheel. It's about augmenting human ability, not replacing it.
Yeah, that analogy perfectly captures the current state, that ongoing balance.
Yeah.
Now, looking beyond the immediate future, what does the horizon of AI trading actually look like? What's next for tools like ChatGPT Agent? How might they continue to evolve and reshape the crypto landscape?
Well, the immediate prediction seems pretty clear. Automated crypto trading using tools like ChatGPT Agent, it's set to quickly become the new normal. We're not just talking about the early adopters anymore. We're really on the cusp of a widespread shift, much like, how mobile internet or cloud computing just fundamentally changed daily life and business. This isn't some passing trend. It feels like a foundational change in how traders are going to operate going forward. Okay, so if it's becoming the new normal, what specific features or capabilities should we expect to see coming next? Things that will push the boundaries even further.
We can probably anticipate much deeper integration and even more advanced analytics. Moving towards truly seamless workflows. Our sources suggest traders will likely gain native, direct access to things like on-chain nodes and protocol-specific APIs. What that means is the agent could directly interact with DeFi protocols, query smart contracts, maybe even participate in governance votes, all without ever leaving the ChatGPT environment. Imagine being able to research a new token, analyze its on-chain liquidity on a specific DX, simulate a complex multi-leg trade involving lending and borrowing, and then execute it, all within that single AI-powered interface, getting highly granular signals straight from the blockchain. What's fascinating here is just the sheer seamlessness that seems to be coming, eliminating tons of manual steps, reducing the friction in executing complex cross-platform strategies. This level of integration will likely allow for strategies that were previously only really feasible for big, institutional players with lots of resources.
That level of integration sounds incredibly powerful, almost like having a universal API key for the entire crypto ecosystem. And speaking of power, you mentioned multi-agent systems earlier. What exactly are AI teams and how might they impact crypto trading, moving beyond just a single co-pilot model?
Yeah, this is truly exciting and potentially disruptive development to watch. We're moving beyond just single-agent prompts toward the rise of multi-agent systems, essentially AI teams. Projects like Flag Trader, they're sort of at the forefront here, exploring how multiple AI agents, each specialized in a distinct area, can collaborate to manage a portfolio or execute really complex strategies. Imagine one agent focused solely on real-time price action analysis, another on comprehensive risk assessment and capital allocation, a third scouring social media for market sentiment shifts, and maybe a fourth dedicated to executing trades with the best possible slippage and gas fees. These agents would communicate, share data, make coordinated decisions, almost like a team of human analysts in a top trading firm. This contrasts sharply with just giving one agent one broad prompt, right? It introduces these coordinated decision-making models specifically built for sophisticated crypto trading with AI, looking ahead to 2025 and beyond, which, again, raises an important question. If AI teams become the standard, how does human oversight evolve? Do we shift from watching individual agents to giving high-level directives and overseeing the team's collective strategy and output? It really shifts the human role more towards being a conductor of an orchestra.
That's a fascinating evolution, like building an entire AI department for your trading, where each AI brings its own specialty. And this development, it's part of an even broader shift, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. OpenAI's agent and these emerging multi-agent systems, they're key parts of a wider movement towards what people are starting to call agentic finance. This is basically an ecosystem where multiple autonomous assistants, each with specialized functions, work together to support real-time decision-making within financial systems. Crucially, all under continuous human supervision. It's about creating this intelligent, responsive financial infrastructure where AI handles the heavy lifting, the data crunching, pattern recognition, rapid execution, which frees up human intelligence for the higher level stuff. Strategic thinking, innovation, ethical oversight. It's really about augmenting, not replacing, human capability, creating a potentially more efficient, informed, and maybe even more profitable financial world.
So what does this all boil down to for us? The human traders, the decision makers in this rapidly changing landscape, what's the ultimate enduring takeaway from this whole technological revolution in finance?
You know, the poignant message from our source material, I think it really sums it up perfectly. The tools are getting smarter, but your edge still comes from how wisely you use them. This technology, it empowers you to achieve so much more, so much faster, with greater insight than ever before. No question. But the strategic insights, the critical judgment, the ability to know when to trust the AI and when to step in, the ultimate responsibility, that still rests with you. The human element, it remains indispensable. It just shifts away from brute force data collection and manual clicking towards masterful strategy, nuanced oversight, and innovative ways to apply these incredibly powerful tools. Your unique human intuition, your risk tolerance, your long-term vision, that's what differentiates your approach in the end.
That's a really powerful thought to leave you with. As AI tools like ChatGPT Agent get more and more sophisticated, maybe the real competitive advantage isn't just having access to the best tech anymore. Maybe it's mastering the art of collaborating with AI, knowing when to delegate, when to intervene, how to synthesize its insights with your own strategic judgment. What does that mean for how we even define an expert in the coming years? Will it be less about knowing all the data points yourself and more about knowing how to best leverage these intelligent co-pilots? We really encourage you to continue your own deep dive into these topics. Maybe consider how you might apply AI in your own fields, or think about what new skills will become most valuable in this AI augmented world we're entering. And hey, if you found this deep dive valuable, please take just a moment to subscribe, maybe leave a comment, engage with this video. Your support genuinely helps us boost visibility in the algorithm, and it lets us keep creating quality, in-depth content just like this for you. The future is definitely here, and it's really all about how wisely we choose to engage with it.